So, family, back with another download. Listen to this. Ascension can be accelerated through forgiveness. Yeah, through forgiveness. I know I said the F word. It can be accelerated through forgiveness because when you don't forgive, and I've done many videos on forgiveness, but this download is really revelatory. And I wanted to make sure that I did this on my Wednesday wisdom. Okay. Holy Spirit gave me this morning that in our ascension process, it can be accelerated through the act of forgiveness. All right. And I know that forgiveness can be a touchy subject because many of us have gone through some horrible things. But this is something that I've learned to do. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And I want to share it with you, so family. I believe it will be helpful because living this life as a teacher, it puts me in position to allow my life to speak for me. So it's not even so much of the things that I say, but it is the way that I live that is most influential, the things that I do in my daily practice, okay? So this is something that I've done. I've learned to declassify experiences, okay? I declassify the experiences so that I don't attach importance to the people that are included in those experiences. And I'm not saying people aren't important, but this is how I create a space or a thought process that makes forgiveness easy for me. This is how I depersonalize, thank you, Holy Spirit, the experience. Because what I understand the experience has been brought to me for me to see something. All right. If I see something in the experience that I don't like, I'm presented with something, whether it is the way someone treats me or what they present to me as an individual. If during that exchange they present one way, but they act another, we have a tendency to take that to heart and to make it personal and then to pull up the things that we've experienced before. It is because we have not released the things that we've experienced before. This is my own experience. I've had this to happen to me on more than one occasion. And so this download is so revelatory and personal to me that I found that when I put this to practice, not only is ascension elevated and accelerated, increased, so is my divine clarity. So whereas I saw with clear eyes before, it's even clearer and even further now because I'm putting to practice the declassification and depersonalizing of the event and experience and making the people included of less importance. In truth, it's not important how someone treated you other than for you to get the lesson. All right. And I'm not making how they treated you invalid. That's not what I'm doing. It's not important who was used because if it wasn't that person, it'd be another person. And so we have a tendency to attach that bad experience like Velcro to the individual, detach it, put the person somewhere else. In truth, it doesn't matter if it was Sally, if it was Sue. It doesn't matter if it was Derek or DeAndre. It's the experience that you needed to see. There is something here that I do not want. There is something here that is not good for me. If there is anything you got to forgive someone for, it is because they presented you something that you did not want. The wonderful thing is you have a choice whether you're going to stick around to keep getting it or whether you're going to accept an apology and see their changed behavior. There are going to be times when you don't get an apology. I've had many times where I've never gotten an apology from people. I don't expect it anymore. I mean, I don't expect apologies. If I get one, fine. If I don't, fine. What I expect is change behavior. Because if I decide that I don't like oranges and you give me oranges, well, I'm not going to accept it. And I'm going to go on down and to me a fruit stand with grapes because I like grapes. You don't present grapes. You present oranges, and you don't have any notion of adding grapes to your fruit stand. So I can't even stop by your fruit stand. I'm trying to simplify this so you can understand how you should gauge what is in your life. Because a lot of stuff will enter your life and be drawn into your life. You will have to decide if you accept it or not. Okay? The fruit stand analogy. If I like grapes and someone can only present me oranges, they can't convince me to stick around because I decided that I don't like oranges. It doesn't matter that they like oranges. It doesn't matter what that they like citrus. They can't convince me to like citrus because I've already decided I like grapes. But what I'm not doing is I'm not asking them, get rid of your oranges. All right? What I'm saying is, if you want me to stick around, you need to accept that I don't like oranges. So anytime you present me oranges, I'm not going to take it. But if you add grapes to your fruit stand, thank you, Holy Spirit, you'll have my attention. But you still won't be able to give me oranges. That's a boundary. That's what boundaries do. Boundaries are not walls. You're not a fortress. You're not a castle. They're gates. You can see what is there and you get to decide what you want. So anytime you make a decision about what is good for you and someone presents something opposite, they can't manipulate you if you don't allow them. You know, they can't say things like, well, I thought you said you loved me. Well, I thought you understood I didn't like oranges. Okay? You see how that conversation can go? You decided you didn't want to add grapes and you wanted to keep your oranges and keep giving them to me. Even though you know oranges break my skin out. Oranges make me sick to the stomach. Oranges aren't good for my body. All right? I've already let you know that. That's why I don't like oranges. Okay? Even if I didn't like oranges because I didn't like the color orange, that's still valid. But because you decided you were going to force oranges on me, I'm going to go on down to another grape stand. That grape stand might have apples, oranges, grapes, kiwi, pomegranates. They have a variety. But when I get ready to pick up the grapes, the fruit stand owner says, you need a bag for these grapes. Not only do I have seedless grapes, but I have seed-filled grapes. Well, I'm going to always pick the seed-filled grapes because I know they're not grown in somebody's laboratory. I'm just saying. Okay. I like grapes, but y'all, I like a little seed in them. Okay. Can't always get seed in them, but that's what I like. Okay. All right. So allow yourself to separate the person from the experience and get back to choosing. All right. And there are going to be times you got to walk away from a fruit stand. Doesn't mean you hate the individual. Doesn't mean the individual is just horrible. It means that they chose something that you didn't choose. And it also means that they didn't want to compromise and add something to their fruit stand that your palate could take. They wanted to force something on you. And you don't have to take anything that is forced. But you also don't have to hold that person to that experience. I don't have to be mad with the fruit stand owner because they refuse to add something that I like. I can release them and I can let it go. And then it opens me up to not only another fruit stand, but a more personable fruit stand owner and a more open fruit stand owner, a more entreating and compromising, a person that is easy to deal with, as opposed to a person that is forcing their way Okay. So forgiveness causes you to release one, all right, and open to another, all right? Whatever the one thing is, whatever the thing you need to release and open to, okay? It helps you to learn to make the decision. No one can say, all right, I don't want you in this part of my life. I want you in this part of my life. Well, you can't choose for me. Okay? Y'all know how that happens. Well, people say, well, I don't want you here. I want you there. Well, you can't make a decision for where I belong in your life or anybody else's. I get to decide that. Okay? So if you decide you want me there and I don't want to be there, then I move on. All right? I forgive. I release. Because it's just an experience where I learned I get to choose. And no one gets to choose for me. All right? So you begin to ascend when you keep making choices for you. All right? That's how ascension happens. That's how you increase your awakening. Thank you, Holy Spirit. All right? And also that forgiveness, because forgiveness means I'm holding on to the bad experience and the person included in the experience. That's what forgiveness says. I'm holding on. All right? That's what unforgiveness, the unforgiveness is I'm holding on to the experience and the person. All of y'all are included. All right? What forgiveness says is I am releasing the experience and the person. It's not the person that is most important. It is the lesson that I learned to choose for myself. And I'll see you on the next download. Toodles.